Our next speaker invites us to pause, reflect, and see things a little differently. Please help me welcome Daniel Ferreira.
Shut your mouth and open your mind. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, pause for a second and think. And it reminds me of a story that I heard. It's a parable of a man that was walking down to a beach mid-noon afternoon where the tide was low and the sun was high. And as he is walking, he notices that there are a lot of starfish all over the sand, baking under the sun, practically dying by every minute that passes. And as he's walking a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, and carefully trying not to step over or step on any of these stars, he sees one kid. And this kid is just picking up each star and putting it back in the water. One star, putting it back in the water. Now, there is miles of stars, miles of starfish on the sand. And as this adult comes up to the kid, he has a little smirk on his face. And he tells the kid, "Hey kid, you're never going to save all these starfish. It's futile. Just give up." The kid looks up at him and says, "You stupid idiot." Now, it's not a very nice thing to say, but after he did say that, he went back one star by one star. Something that he would never finish, and he'll never save any of these stars. In essence, in life, we are that little kid. But you have a choice. Do you want to be the little kid or do you want to be the adult? And those are separate parts of being human. Because I've been speaking with a couple of people, and I speak with many people actually, and some people have different philosophies. A couple of philosophies are, I don't want to do a lot of hard work for my job because I work at McDonald's. Or I work at a really bad environment. I'm not going to get a promotion. I hate my boss. And then there's the guy that is on the other side, and he says, you know what? It doesn't matter if I'm working at McDonald's. I'm going to flip the best burger I can. I'm going to try to do the job as best as I can and make my employer as much money as I can. Who would you rather be? You're in the middle. And you ask yourself, who do I want to be? Do I want to be the guy that is not wanting to work to the full potential because that's not my career calling? Or the guy that I'm going to do the best as I can? Well, not to shilly-shally anyone here, there is only one choice. And I'm not going to tell you which choice is right. But I'm going to lead you down the road of two lives, and two lives that you've probably seen in your own life, and pretty much everybody has. One person decides I don't want to do a lot of work. I am just going to do enough to get by. And that track is going to take them somewhere. Does anybody know anybody like that here? No, you guys are all overachievers. You know everybody that's perfect. This guy, he says, you know what? Maybe I'm just flipping burgers at Cheeseburger World or whatever fast food location you want it to be. But this guy has something special. He has something that this other guy doesn't have. He has the will to make things better. And the more you make things better, it bleeds into everything else. It's not just a static position of, I'm just going to do enough, but if I ever become the CEO of McDonald's, then I'm going to start working. This is when I'm going to be better, right? Versus this guy, he's already there, he's already working, he's already getting everything done. Now, personal story of mine, I used to work at a call center. And in this call center, you had those guys that just did enough. And you had guys that did enough and they did really good. They made 2 sales in a day and they'll go home because they'll walk out with $400 or $500. And then there was a guy that, even though he didn't make 1 sale that week, he stayed there until the end of the day. Which one do you think is going to go further?
It depends.
Right? Because there's nothing guaranteed. Because
have some skills too.
it's not, exactly. Nothing is guaranteed. But I'll tell you this. The guy that stayed the 8 hours and didn't give up, even if he didn't become a top salesman, if he went to become a doctor or a lawyer, he has those skill sets that he learned, that he is putting forward work, and it doesn't matter how hard it is. Versus this person, and I know this person, I'm not going to say the name of this person. This guy's a great salesman. Amazing. He could sell water to an Eskimo, or ice to an Eskimo rather. But if I were to tell you where he is right now, he's still doing the same thing. He is working for a call center, which there's nothing wrong with that. But if he's not controlling his own business, his boss can fire him, the business can go under, and he has to start over somewhere else. And nobody likes to start over somewhere else. This guy that was terrible for the first week, 2 weeks, month, 3 months, well, that's me. I started my own business. Now I get to travel. I get to do whatever I want. Now, obviously, I'm not Jeff Bezos. I'm not making millions of dollars yet. But it created freedom, and it also created an aspect of referability. Meaning that although I don't do a lot of marketing in my job or in my career, I get a lot of referrals back because people know that they can count on me and they know my level of work. So next time you're walking on the beach and you see a bunch of starfish, will you pick them back up and throw them in the water or just walk away? Mr. Toastmaster.